Hello, Robert here with Northern Compass, and today we're going to talk about searching for vehicles in the RSS Toolbox. So here the software's opened up, and when we say searching for vehicles, what we mean is we're going to use the car icon. And notice that we now have the search for vehicles panel open here. And let's go ahead and quickly address each control as they are from top to bottom. So if we want to type in a specific vehicle, we can go ahead and put in its license plate and click search for plate. And RSS Toolbox will go and find just that vehicle inside your shop management system. We can also filter our searches to only show customers with an email address on file. We can filter searches likewise to also show customers that don't have an email address on file. Maybe we want to make sure we're able to target the customer via the appropriate contact method, via email if they have one or text message if they don't. We also have the ability here to show customers at risk of not being picked up by a CRM. And this is a very powerful feature that will be different depending upon your shop management system. Currently within the Mitchell1 system, we run over a bunch of algorithms from the RSS Toolbox for known parameters that may or may not keep a vehicle from receiving notifications about upcoming services or appointments, and then we display all those vehicles to you. Below there, we also have the ability to filter out which vehicles were shown. And here we can say, show vehicles that we worked on at least once in the last year, at least once in the last 2 years, 3 years, or just show every single vehicle from the time the shop first implemented a shop management system, or jokingly back to where it all began. So for right now, because this is a demonstration database and very, very small, we're going to go ahead and filter it back to where it all began, but 99.9% of all shops are really going to focus their customer communications on vehicles they've serviced at least once in the last year. And via a recommendation from a shop here in Puyallup, Washington, we've also included the ability to filter that down further and show only vehicles that were serviced between a certain date range. This became popular because some shop owners, when they left town on vacation, wanted to make sure that their procedures and workflows were still being followed while they were gone, such as when a vehicle came in for service, at least the next oil change was scheduled or the next appointment was scheduled. And this date range feature here will allow you to do that. You could go through and say, I was out of town last week, so show me last Monday to last Friday. And let me make sure that every vehicle that was checked out and serviced actually has their next oil change scheduled or their next appointment scheduled. We also have the ability to search and show how many miles the customer has driven with that vehicle since their last visit. This is great for checking oil changes. So for example, you could say, show me all customers who have driven at least 3,000 miles since their last service, and we'd know customers that were due for a standard oil change service or 5,000 for synthetic. Basically, any service that your shop has that's miles since their last service based can be found using this tool here. This next tool is probably the most common one, and this is where we go through and we search your shop management system, and we say, show me all vehicles estimated to have a certain number of miles on them today. And what this is doing is this is looking at the service history of the vehicle, the mileage you've been recording as those vehicles come in for service, and calculating out how many average miles that customer drives a day, and is the current mileage between these parameters. So notice we've selected grab all vehicles from the database estimated to have between 55,000 and 70,000 miles on them today as they sit. This is fantastic for being able to find vehicles that are in need of, say, a 60K factory service or a first transmission flush or anything like that. It's all dependent upon your shop's service schedules. And notice here we have 160 of them in this database. Your shop can be dramatically more or even less. We've seen some shops come back where there's well over 500 customers that are due for a 60K service at this point in time that the shop was not aware of, and the customer simply either didn't know or had forgotten to service their vehicle. So we'll go back, we'll open up the search here. But notice even beyond this, we could do this with 90K services. We could sit here and we could say, okay, pull me all vehicles that have between 85 and 100,000 miles of it. And the RSS Toolbox will go out and get all those services as well. I happen to know a couple of radiator shops that use this, and they like to do the first complete cooling flush on all their customers' vehicles at 90,000 miles. So they use that particular setting quite often. But every other setting you see here, we have the ability to filter those down. We can say only show me cars that are basically ODB 2 or newer. So we could go down to 1996 all the way up to 2018. It would take those results and it would filter those down and show only the cars that were 1996 or newer. We could sit there, filter that further just for demonstration purposes, only show me the customers that have an email address on file. We've got 42 of those. Obviously, this demo database, the fake service writer is not doing that great of a job at getting customer emails here. And the rest of these tools are really things that have come to us over time from different shops using the RSS Toolbox, where they've said, hey, you know what, it would be really great if I could pull all Chevrolets, and maybe they want to know, let's look down here. Maybe they want to see all Chevrolet pickups in the database that have an automatic transmission. It's just a service feature, something they do for their shops. So we build all this into the RSS Toolbox. If you want to know only four-wheel drives, you want to search by engine sizes, you want to search by transmission model numbers, the searching vehicles panel in the RSS Toolbox is going to give you all those specialty tools to do that. But again, just to recap, I'm going to reset the controls here. And these are going to be the top features that people use this for. They want to see all the vehicles at risk for not being included in their CRM, and then they usually go through and they want to find their 30, 60, and 90Ks. And so, for example, these would be all the customers that were at risk for not being followed up by a CRM. And I'm going back to where time began, so this is going to be a huge run of the algorithm and pull from the database here, so we'll definitely give it a second. I want to say there's 3,000 customers in this database, and there's obviously more than that. There's 4,500 cars in this database. So this lists all the reasons why a shop may not include them in their CRM. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of the search vehicles panel here. We will have other tutorials for more in-depth tips and tricks with the search vehicles panel that you can definitely find on repairshopservices.com or YouTube. I appreciate your time and have a wonderful day.